a few seconds or so while people trickle in. Okay, and while people are trickling in, I'll just go ahead and give it and start. So, good morning, everyone. My name is Allison DeGuide, and I'm with the Illinois Restaurant Association. I'd like to thank you for joining today's business advising session on Safer Foodware Solutions, a grant-funded opportunity for restaurants. This business advising session is being presented by the Illinois Restaurant Association in partnership with the Cook County Small Business Source. Established to ensure businesses emerge from COVID-19 intact and positioned for growth, the Small Business Source connects small business owners with expert guidance and support. Services include no-cost business advising, resources, and events that connect small business owners with a community of advisors. If you're interested in one of our advisors reaching out one-on-one for further business advising, sign up at cookcountysmallbiz.org. It's free and easy to sign up. For today's session, we encourage you to ask questions. We'll have a Q&A session at the end of the presentation, and you can either come off of mute or ask your questions and post them in the chat. We also have a team from the IRA here today to assist with further questions. At this time, I'd like to introduce our panelists. Cassie Carroll, Marketing and Communications Director at the Smart Energy Design Assistance Center at the University of Illinois. Cassie, please take it away.
Thank you so much for having me today, and welcome. Welcome to all of the folks on the call today. I'm really excited to be talking to you about compostable and safer foodware for your restaurants. As you have questions today, please feel free to pop them in the chat. We will have time for Q&A, but I'll also monitor the chat as well to see if we have any questions that are relevant to topics that I'm speaking about. So I'm so excited to be here with you, and so are our partners. I'll talk a little bit about our organizations first, then we'll get into the meat of our session, and then we'll talk about the Safer Compostable Foodware Program for Chicagoland businesses. But CDAC, the Smart Energy Design Assistance Center, we are just a organization that wants to empower others in Illinois for practical solutions around climate, energy, and sustainability. So we do that through a lot of different means. Our bread and butter of our work is energy efficiency, but we do climate action planning, workforce development, and help businesses through our Illinois Green Business Program, which was founded in 2008 to help make it easier for businesses to go green. We really want to make sustainable business as something that not only helps your business reduce environmental impact, but helps your business be more profitable and resilient, especially in the face of what's happening in our world today. So we're a partnership between our organization, CDAC, and the Illinois Green Business Association. So that's why we do this work and how we're here today. But today we're going to talk about PFAS. What are PFAS? We'll talk about how PFAS can impact your restaurant, your staff, your customers, and the environment. We'll provide a project overview and just talk about how do you find safer, compostable, or PFAS food-free foodware. And then we'll talk about some other resources for your restaurants as well, such as composting and other types of things that you should just get a heads up on around sustainability and how that might impact your restaurant, some of the legislation we see out there. But first, let's talk about PFAS, why we're here today. PFAS are called per and polyfluoroalkyl substances, and it took me a while to learn how to pronounce those things correctly, but the short term PFAS is something that you'll see a lot. And really, they're a group of man-made chemicals that are resistant to oil, water, and heat. So PFAS, you can see on this fit photo right here, which I love. They're in a lot of different products that we use. It's not just foodware, but they're in things like candy wrappers, or sometimes our water-resistant clothing that we use, nail polish. One place where we're seeing a lot of impacts of PFAS is in firefighting equipment, actually. But these chemicals really can break down in a lab, but they cannot break down in our environment. So we have all of these products that we use that have PFAS in them, but where do they end up? And they end up in our environment. So PFAS is really something that enters our soil and our waterways through a lot of different means. One of the most common ways is through our landfills here. So, the landfill, if we put those products that we use into the landfill, they break down, those chemicals leach into our water and our groundwater and our soils. But They can also enter our homes. They can from farmland. Sometimes they can enter into our groundwater. So there's a lot of different ways that PFAS get into our environment. And again, these chemicals can break down in a lab, but not in our environment. So they're forever chemicals. They stay in our environment. And so the one of the other ways, and I'll talk about it and why we're here today, is they're in our foodware products. So those chemicals, I'll talk about how they enter our food, but they enter our bodies and they stay in our bodies as well from either drinking water or other products that we use. So they also really impact our health. PFAS can really accumulate in our bodies over time and cause health impacts. The most common ones are reproductive problems, developmental delays in children, cancer risks, hormone disruption, and immune system impacts. But really, the ways that we absorb it are through water, foodware, these products that we use, and they stay in our bodies. And we want to protect our children. We want to protect the people that we love and care about. So we really want to think about what products use PFAS and how we can avoid those products so we don't intentionally or unintentionally have some of these health impacts in the people that we care about the most or the people that we serve. So PFAS are found in disposable foodware. So common products where you find PFAS in foodware, of course, clamshells, food trays, boats, straws, bowls, plates. Pretty much a lot of our foodware has PFAS in it. And where you find those PFAS are in the coatings. Again, PFAS are used for grease, oil, and heat resistance, right? And that's a lot of what our foodware does. So those coatings, basically how it enters our food is through holding times, temperature, and the amount of grease in our food. Those coatings, that foodware can absorb what's in those coatings and then get into our food, and then we ingest that, and then that stays in our bodies. So there are a lot of different, there are some foodware product categories that don't contain PFAS. Sometimes some cups, if they have a PLA lining, which is a compostable lining, those can not have PFAS, or coffee sleeves or cutlery, some of those types of things can not have PFAS in them. But we see that a lot of our common products that we use have PFAS. Sometimes plastic water bottles can have a PFAS coating in them. Usually plastic is just plastic. That is soak proof. So most of the time water bottles, thanks for that question in the chat, don't have PFAS in them, but they have other chemicals in them like BPA or other types of quote unquote forever chemicals that can leach into our bodies as well. Good question. And so we are really trying to help restaurants through a grant-funded project by the US EPA finding PFAS-free compostable products. And so we really want to reduce the amount of exposure, not only for you as restaurant owners or managers, but also your staff and your customers using these types of products. So there are a lot of alternatives in foodware for that are PFAS free, and we'll get into what those credible certifications and labels to look like for disposable foodware. And so PLA, compostable plastic, is a great alternative to a coating. Also things that maybe are, there are things that are coated in clay, that's a foodware, or a soak-proof shield. Those are some things to look for. There's bio wax products as well. These all still have heat resistance, grease resistance, and also the temperature resistance. But there's safer treatments to your foodware that can reduce or eliminate exposure to PFAS. There's a couple of different terms that we're seeing in the market right now. We're seeing, no PFAS added, and we also see PFAS free. The industry standard right now is no PFAS. So if it says no, or PFAS free, I'm sorry. So PFAS free is the standard. If you see no PFAS added, that's a great benefit, but the industry standard to really make sure that you are using products that are PFAS free is PFAS free. So I just wanted to mention that. So there's a lot of different alternative treatments for our different products that we use, but looking for things that are PFAS free or have a credible label are the best pathways to go when you're looking for something that is safer for your customers, your community, your health, and the environment. So how do you find these sorts of products? So I want to take you through some steps about how can you look at the disposable single-use products that you use, and how can you find alternatives. And we'll do a little bit of a game together to see if we can find those PFAS-free products. But the first step is just assessing your existing packaging. So checking your foodware that you use right now. Does it have a credible label? Does the foodware description say no intentional PFAS added or PFAS free and have a credible label? That is one of the big things that we look for. We have PFAS free is the terms you should look for, but does it have a credible label? And we'll go through what those credible labels are here in a moment. What claims do your food manufacturers make? Do they say that it is 100% compostable? Do they say that it is BPI certified or something that can be composted? Does it say PFAS free? Does it have the backing or the certification credible label to say, yes, we have had somebody test this product and it is PFAS free? So a couple of the credible labels you want to look for, the two main ones are BPI compostable and green screen certified. So if you look at your products and the product specifications say that these products are labeled BPI compostable or green screen certified, those are third-party verifications that say, yes, this product is compostable and it is also PFAS free. So again, the first step is looking to see, do you have products that you use that have these credible labels, and understanding those claims that they're making. The next step we really recommend is working with your suppliers. So your suppliers can be great partners to help you find PFAS-free products that have those credible labels. Often your suppliers can also help you get samples of these items for free to test out in your restaurant. You don't have to buy a whole case and take that risk if it doesn't work well for the food that you provide. You can ask for your supplier to work with the manufacturer to get test products. And then you can also, another option, if you have suppliers that don't offer these sorts of products, there are alternative suppliers that offer these safer compostable alternatives. And I see the question in the chat around, are these products affordable? I will get to that here later on in our presentation. So thank you for asking that question. And then we talk about, once you find those products, you work with those suppliers, you test those products out, you can implement these things over time. You can start by choosing one PFAS-free compostable product in your restaurant, see how it goes. We really just encourage restaurants to try one item, see if it works, get in the rhythm of using it, and then expand use over time or as your profit margins or your margins allow. We know your margins are tight. We know the rising costs of foodware and food products and all of those things are factors in your decision making. So maybe starting with one PFAS-free, safer product could be a good option for your restaurant. We also know that there is legislation in Illinois that passed out of the Senate. It's in the House right now about a phase out of polystyrene. And so that means within 5 years, by 2030, if this does pass, again, tentative, but if it does pass by 2030, Illinois will not be able to distribute or sell polystyrene, which is styrofoam, foodware in the state of Illinois. So restaurants will have to phase that out over time. So we trying to start seeing, well, what products are comparable, what other sorts of options are available, and doing that testing. It's a great time to start that. So you're not caught, if this legislation does pass, you're not caught in 2030 still using these products and not finding other alternatives. So we also really encourage you to promote your foodware attributes to your customers. Your customers care, and knowing that you're using a safer product is also something that they care about. So particularly for their health. So promoting your foodware attributes to your customers is a great way to gain buy-in for this safer foodware that you purchase. While also building more loyalty and trust with your restaurant, between your customers and your restaurant. So, but we can help. These are just some steps, but we have a program, and that's why we're here today and partnered with the Illinois Restaurant Association on this session. We have a project that's funded by the US EPA to reduce PFAS exposure and help restaurants find alternative, single-use, safer, more sustainable foodware that reduces PFAS exposure in the Chicagoland area. So this means really simply, that's a big, long title to say, we want to help food businesses and organizations find safer alternatives. So we're looking for just 30 for now, but 30 businesses in the Chicagoland area, and we will provide no-cost foodware assessments to identify those solutions. So we'll go through all of those steps with you to identify whether your foodware has those safer certifications and labels and where we can help you make improvements. We also have up to $300 that you can use as a participant in this program to test out PFAS-free foodware products. So we can help you work with the suppliers to get samples, but we can also give you some funds to get started testing maybe one or two products in some larger volumes to see how your customers respond to these new foodware, alternative single-use foodware items. And then we can help you connect to PFAS-free foodware suppliers in the region and also find other opportunities that benefit your bottom line. So we will also come in and find, say, if there's an energy efficiency opportunity or something to reduce your energy use, we will help you connect to resources in Illinois to do those sorts of initiatives as well. For example, one thing that I wanted to give you all a heads up on is we do see sometime in 2026 the incentives for LED lighting going away in Illinois. And so we want to help our businesses take advantage of the incentives that are available right now. ComEd right now offers up to 70% of the total coverage of some energy efficiency projects for small businesses like LED lighting. I've even seen where there's been a $20,000 project, and with bonuses, business only has to pay $70 for an energy efficiency project. So there are amazing incentives out there and programs out there right now. And we, through this program, and when we look at your foodware, we also want to find other good things that you can take advantage of in your restaurant. So again, we can help you provide that no-cost foodware assessment, up to $300 of PFAS-free foodware products, and help you get on a path of purchasing these foodware options that are more safe, or that are safer and sustainable for your restaurants and your customers. So what you'll gain, you'll get unique disposable foodware options for your restaurants. So we will take a look at your products. We'll find a suite of comparable products and then let you choose. What do you want to test? What do you want to try out? We'll do a cost analysis of these safer disposable foodware alternatives for you so you can consider long-term costs and impact. We even can work with you to think about how could we help your restaurant incur maybe the additional costs, maybe recoup that from your customers rather than having it be another thing added to your bottom line. So we'll do a cost analysis and we'll work with you on those things. We'll directly connect you with regional suppliers, and then we'll offer those other cost and efficiency opportunities for your business. So we want to help you get ahead of this potential polystyrene ban, but we also just want to help you find safer, better products for your customers and your communities. So what does it look like to participate? We'll do a quick pre-assessment call with you, just a quick 20-minute call to learn a little bit more about your restaurant and the different disposable foodware items that you purchase. Then we'll schedule an on-site assessment with you to actually evaluate your current foodware, collect purchasing information, and review other sustainability opportunities. Then we'll go back to our office. We'll review foodware options for you, and we'll provide a custom report that outlines not only our recommendations, cost comparisons, and purchasing guidance. What are the next steps? Then we'll work with you to test PFAS-free foodware products with suppliers, and we'll see how it goes. That's where you'll be able to use up to $300 to purchase products for you to use. And we'll follow up with you to see how they've performed, what your preferences are, and then we'll provide support to not only help you share your successes if you decide to move forward with a safer alternative, but we'll also help connect you to those resources for other sustainability opportunities that can benefit your restaurant. So it's pretty easy to participate. Again, on your time commitment side, it's 20-minute phone call, about an hour site visit or less, and then following up to test out and purchase these products. So, hopefully it's a really interesting opportunity to try out different foodware and reduce the risk of trying something new out in your restaurant. So we have some initial manufacturing partners. We're working with folks like World Centric, Eco Products, and Better Earth. With this project, we will be expanding the types of foodware we offer as we go. We have some great suppliers on board as well, so we're excited to work with you in this journey. But I kind of want to talk first let's play a quick game about finding the PFAS-free compostable foodware. Out there, there's a lot of information on foodware and different sorts of claims. I want to do this to see, can we find a product and trust its claims? So if we see these three products, if we're Googling different bowls for, say, salads in our restaurant, we see these three different products and we see these three different claims. I want you to put in the chat what options you think are PFAS free just by looking at the product and the product picture here. So put in the chat which one, so we'll do number 1 here, number 2 in the middle, and number 3. 1, 2, or 3. Which do you think is the PFAS free product here? All right, so 1, 2, and 3. Great. And I will get to that question too, Brittany, about the reusable PFAS-free products. That's a great question too. So 1, 2, and 3. All right, I see some 1s, I see some 2s. All right, so we can't, so the claims look really good on the photos, right? But it's where we dig into the actual specifications that matter the most. So we have this on the side that says eco quality, save blue, live green. It's got a round compostable sugarcane bowl with lid. We've got a no PFAS added product here by Sugar Fiber, and then we just kind of have this regular product. So if we look into number 1 here, this is a lot of text, but I'll highlight some different things. So we've got a paper bowl with fiber lid dome. We've got it's 100% sugarcane fiber and sustainable, renewable, biodegradable material. And great for hot and cold uses, microwave and freezer safe. So to me, I'm not seeing anything in this product description, and I've looked at this product and tried to find any sort of claims, right? So we don't know for sure whether it is compostable because we don't know if it's composting. There's 2 compostable labels. Again, BPI certified means that it's compostable and PFAS free, right? And CMA is another indication that it is commercially compostable. So I'm not seeing anything in this description that says that it has those sorts of accreditations that tell me whether it's compostable first. But number 2, where it says great for hot and cold uses, that makes me a little interested to see, okay, it might be PFAS free, but what coating are they using? In this description, it's not telling me what coating they're using, right? So they say that it's great and hot for cold uses, it's microwavable and freezer safe, but it doesn't tell me that, even though it says it's an eco product, it's not telling me that it is PFAS free, right? It doesn't have that third-party certification from BPI or Green Screen certified. And if it's microwavable and freezer safe, that's cool, but is it using those harmful coatings in the foodware that maybe have PFAS in that? I can't tell. So if I'm looking for a product that doesn't have harmful chemicals, I would skip over this one because it's not maybe something that we really can see as, through this description, that is safe and PFAS free. So our second product here, all natural, made with 100% non-toxic plant byproduct material that looks like with a sturdy paper texture, safe and durable, PLA coating. All right, this is telling me that it has a compostable coating. Great, this is a great attribute. It's saying that it's compostable. The lid is recyclable plastic, which that's good to know. It's not compostable, but it's recyclable. But again, I could not find, even though it's a no PFAS added product, this is an interesting option. But again, if we really want to verify, and I say it's interesting because it does look like it's made by compostable material. It does look like it has a PLA compostable coating, which is good. But again, it's not something that has a credible label. So even though it says no PFAS added, again, we're looking for PFAS free, right? And we're looking for something that has a credible third party to say, hey, I'm not going to get a bunch of harmful chemicals from a coating that's on this. Even though it's PLA, which is still good, it's still something that I would question. So this is a product that I would say if you used it, it might not be as bad as the first one, or it might be better than the first option, but still it doesn't have those good credible coatings. So our simple product here, this is the product description: PFAS-free compostable fiber round bowl. Okay, it's saying what I like. It's having PFAS-free compostable fiber bowl, and it has these different specifications. But if you dig further into the product, you can see that it is BPI certified. So again, that means that this product is compostable, commercially compostable, and it has been checked to ensure that this product is PFAS free. So it also has some other really great options and attributes, but those are the types of things that we look at. And I just wanted to kind of give you a little bit of flavor of how do we evaluate these products? How should you be looking at these products? So no wrong answers here, but we would prefer our restaurants and food businesses to use something that is like this simple bowl, doesn't have all maybe the flavor or flair of our other products in its product photograph, but really actually has the credible certification. So it does take a little bit of legwork to find these sorts of products. But again, that's where your suppliers can hop in and help. If you say, hey, I want to see, do you have anything that's BPI compostable in your product list, or that are ASTM or CMA certified for compostability? That is where you'll get to the credible products. Or green screen certified. Again, BPI compostable and green screen certified are the two most credible labels you can look for when they come to PFAS free. So again, unassuming little product, little picture, but really the best and safest option for our health, our environment, and our communities. So again, if you sign up for the PFAS-free foodware project and assessment, we will do all of this legwork for you. So you don't have to do it on your own. And we're always here to help if you have questions. But I kind of wanted to share a little bit here. We've been talking a lot about products, but when we think about the bigger system level of these products, we do want to think about composting as well. So I wanted to talk a little bit about composting here while we are speaking about compostable and safer foodware. So, why should you consider composting? It is a potential, it's another thing, it's another pickup, it's another potential hauler, but it really is beneficial for our Chicagoland community. It reduces food entering our landfills, and that saving that food from landfills is really amazing, not only for maybe donating it to a local community that or shelter that could utilize that food. It reduces greenhouse gas emissions, and it also reduces those products from just not being used. Composting our old food is an amazing, valuable resource for our soil. So if we can create compost, something that we can put those good nutrients in that food back into our environment, that benefits our soil, our water, our environmental health, and all of those good things. But really, restaurants, it's your bottom line. It really can reduce waste disposal costs. Sometimes your waste disposal is not only based on the size of bin that you have, it might be the amount of food waste or the volume or weight of that food waste that you put into that bin. And maybe not specifically food waste, but the weight or volume of that waste in general that you put in your bin. So composting can be a really amazing way to to divert that food waste away from the landfill and also reduce waste disposal costs. You may be able to shrink the size of your bin, your waste bin. You may be able to go down to something, if you're at a 3-yard, maybe you go down to a 1-yard because you have composting available and you're diverting that good food waste away from the landfill. And then, of course, composting customers, waste disposal and recyclable, compostable. That is one of the easiest ways to connect with your customer base around your environmental efforts, because we all understand, okay, compost, if you put it there, you can then use it on your soil, or if it's recyclable, I can put it in my bin. So customers have a really strong buy-in with waste waste diversion types of initiatives in your restaurant. So that does build, not only enhances your public image as a restaurant, but builds that greater brand loyalty by saying, yes, I can go somewhere where I know my food waste or my foodware products can go back into composting and enter back into our soil and our environment and not end up in the landfill. So composting is getting easier in Chicagoland. There are so many companies that are offering composting. This is a screenshot from the Illinois Food Scrap and Composting Coalition. So if your restaurant offers disposable compostable products, feel free to offer composting. You don't have to do it all at once too. So we talked about really thinking about starting at the back of house. So your prep waste first, seeing what kind of volume comes from your prep waste, and then you can expand over time. So starting small with composting is okay. If you just have one bin and you're starting to collect those food scraps from prep waste, or when you scrape off plates at the back of the house after a customer has dined, if you're that sort of restaurant, those are great ways to start getting used to composting, and then you can scale up over time. So if you are interested in composting, the first thing to do is identify your food waste. What types of food waste are you using? What are your volumes? Then finding out ways to reduce food waste. Can you, instead of cutting maybe a larger part of the carrot, maybe only cut a little sliver of the carrot if you're prepping, for example, carrots for a product? So how can you reduce food waste in your kitchen and prep, but also with your customers as well? And then could you donate food, wasted food somewhere? I know the care it, and carrot is the acronym, but it's care, like I care about this, IT. Carrot is a great platform to use for donating wasted food. There's so many out there, but those, before you throw it in the landfill, these are some things to think about. And then start small and scale over time. So you can set up your composting services. You can develop your internal collection process, starting with that back of house waste. And usually your composter is going to help actually provide maybe signage that you can use. They can even sometimes provide bins for you to use in your kitchens. And then do training. Train your employees on your system. Check on that maybe the first couple weeks you set up composting. Check to see if there's any contamination. Is garbage getting put in with the composting, and then correct those situations with your team. Sometimes your compost haulers will even provide initial training when you launch for free, just because you signed up for the service. So providing ongoing check-ins and training is a great way, and the most important way, to make sure your composting systems are off to a great start. So this is something, if you're interested, I mentioned this in this process. If you're interested in signing up for the Foodware program and are interested in composting, this is something that we can help you with as well. Again, we are focused on the foodware, but also other sustainability opportunities for your business. So again, we really want those products. If you do have in-restaurant dining where you are using disposable foodware, composting is another great step to capture that compostable foodware that is safe and putting it back into our environment. So there's also additional benefits in the Chicagoland area and in Illinois for composting. There is the We Compost program, and thank you, Steph, for putting those links in the chat. But there are lots of Chicagoland businesses that are already composting, and you can get further recognition through the Illinois Food Scrap and Composting Coalition through the We Compost program. So take advantage of that amplification. They have an awesome map online where customers and consumers can see, well, what food businesses are composting and how can I really connect with those businesses. So I know we talked a lot about composting here at the end, but if you are interested in signing up for this program where we come out and take a look at your foodware, find safer options, do the price checking for you, and provide funding for you to test these products, we'd be happy to work with you and your restaurant. So here's my contact information. You can sign up to participate. I will put the link in the chat here momentarily as well to sign up for an assessment. But I thank you so much for your time. And I look forward to any and all of your questions. I also look forward to, and I hope we get to work together on this program. I'd love to help you think about these different options and find solutions that work for you. So thank you to the Illinois Restaurant Association for having me today, and let's get to some questions.
Perfect. Yeah, thanks so much, Cassie. I think there were some that you kind of addressed earlier, but can you talk a little bit more about the affordability of these products?
Sure, sure. These products, there are different varying cost levels for these products. And I will, Steph, if you have anything to add, Stephanie Katsaros here on the call today is also a foodware, I want to say a foodware and waste management expert in the Chicagoland area, and I'll let her introduce herself in a moment. But yes, there is a varying range of prices for these foodware products. There are products such as Better Earth that maybe and actually are comparable to your plastics and other compostable items. There are more expensive options. So that's where, through this program, we can really help look at, okay, what clamshell are you using? What size is it? What purposes do you use it for? Do you use it for saucy foods or desserts or salads? And then we can find that comparable option that can handle, say, your heated products, your saucy products, or those salad products, and help you actually do that cost comparison. So, short answer is it varies. There are comparable options out there that are accessible. There are ones that are a little bit higher. But I think the goal of our project and the long term goal is to build volume for these products so that the cost of compostable foodware products that are safer are lower for everybody. So you're getting in on the ground floor where we are really building those relationships and trying to lower that price based on volume. But that's our goal. Our long term goal is to work along those lines to make it more affordable for everybody.
Perfect. And are any of these PFA-free products suitable for carry and reusable? Or are they all pretty much single use?
Yeah, they are. They can be reused. So some of the PLA compostable plastic products can be microwave safe or can be reused. So yes, there are reusable options. I would say the fiber-based sorts of products are maybe a one and done or a couple times and done. It depends on how saucy the food is. But I think that the PLA plastic products are really a great option. Steph, I don't know if you have anything to add. Please chime in.
Sure, no, thank you very much. And I would say, really the affordability piece is always a question. And what we've noticed, we've done over the years tons of, one-on-one consulting with restaurants for outreach programs like what we're doing here with CDAC. And what you might come to find is that, definitely some are more expensive, but having a alternative options list for everything you use is definitely a way to find where there is cost savings opportunities. So it may surprise you that the cup that you're currently purchasing actually has a compostable option that's less expensive, or just one specific item that you weren't expecting. So I think it's really valuable to see the options. And then in terms of reusables, a lot is changing right now. I mean, just like with compostables, where the prices are going down for compostables, the quantities you need to buy have reduced as well, making it really more accessible for smaller businesses. And on the reusable side of things, there's PLA options, but honestly, you really want to look at material choices that may go beyond compostable, but reusables should really be have a higher quality, potentially metal versus plastic, or what type of plastic. The thing is that it can be PFAS free, whether or not it's compostable. There are PFAS free reusable options that should be and could be considered.
Yes, thank you, Stephanie. And I think that is something that we can look at too if you do want to get assessed. If you are like, hey, I have in restaurant dining, but I'm using disposables right now. How do I switch to reusables? We can assist with that as well. And there are grants available to help you invest in that reusable foodware too. So the aluminum or the reusable washable plates, silverware, etc.
Perfect. Another question is, are PFAs only a problem for hot food, or should any restaurant, even if you're serving like a salad, for example, be concerned about them and be looking at PFA-free options?
Yeah, I think that all restaurants should look for PFAS-free options, really because, and I'm going to go back to a slide here in the very beginning. Sorry for the slide whiplash here for a minute. But again, they're resistant to oil, water, and heat. So if you're using a dressing that has oil in it, that can also maybe absorb some of the PFAS that are in a coating as well. So, or something that maybe is cold but watery, like if you do cold soups or gazpacho or something like that, that's something to think about as well. So, it does have a lot to do with heat, grease, oils, those sorts of things in terms of the absorption from the linings on your foodware. But compostable options too, or PFAS-free options are great for those sorts of colder applications also. So yes, I would say maybe prioritizing hot items first definitely would be, I think, my advice. But if you do have cold options, looking at those as well never hurts. And something that is compostable can also reduce the amount of plastics or polystyrene, styrofoam that enter our waste streams.
Perfect. And then are these products that are, you said that BPI, I believe think it's BPI is the one that's municipally compostable. Are any of these suitable for home composting or no?
So yes, the fiber-based compostable or PFAS-free items that are BPI certified or compostable meet compostability standings for commercial composting. Yes, so I actually have, I wish I had it here, but I have a fiber-based plate that I've been, or bowl that I've been using, and I put it in my compost and it broke down within 1 to 2 months. So we did have tested some of these things. There are some neat products out there like fallen palm leaf plates, which are expensive. Wouldn't recommend it to restaurants. But if you're having a house party, they're kind of neat. They actually look like they have, and I'll find one that put it on the screen. But yes, the fiber-based options are compostable in home compost bins. But things like PLA compostable plastic have to go to a commercial composting facility to be composted. I would say though, if you have a big volume of compostable, that fiber-based compostable foodware, it's going to take a while to break down in your home compost bin. But if you have one or two, or every once in a while you throw it in your compost bin and shuffle it around with all of your other sorts of green and brown waste in your compost bin, yes, it will break down, which is kind of neat. But yeah, the PLA plastics do not break down over time in your home bin. It takes years and years to happen.
Gotcha. Very cool. I'm not seeing any other questions. If anyone also, if you want to come off mute and ask a question, feel free. Otherwise, I think we can go ahead and wrap up. So thank you to everyone who attended. Thank you so much, Cassie and
Yeah.
CDAC for being here. After this webinar, everyone will get a recording and also you'll have information if you want to reach out to CDAC and look at this program. I'd also like to thank the Cook County Small Business Stores for their continued support. Thank you to everyone who attended and have a great day.
Thank you so much for being here. I look forward to working with you, and please feel free to reach out if you just have any questions on this topic. And thank you to the Illinois Restaurant Association for having us.
Of course. Have a great day, everyone.
Take care.